If there's one theme that unites almost every story we've seen for the past 3 years, it's the people in charge despising the people they're in charge of. Politicians despising their voters, preachers despising their congregation, generals despising their infantry, officers, and enlisted men. So it shouldn't surprise you that the Bud Light executive in charge of Bud Light hates people who drink Bud Light and thinks really they should all become transsexual. Here she is.
So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. What does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. We had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
Yeah, fratty is bad. They're just so entitled. That's the word from Alyssa Heinerscheid, who went to Harvard, where it turns out she has something of a fratty past herself. Henry Rogers of the Daily Caller somehow got these pictures of that same person at school in 2006. And you can see she's blowing up condoms. And no, that's not in a biology class. That's in some kind of fratty setting. So how's Bud Light doing, the brand she's partly in charge of? Well, it's lost more than $5 billion in market cap since going trans. Was it worth it? Of course it was. Candace Owens is the host of Candace. She joins us tonight to respond. Hope you weren't a Bud Light investor, Candace.
Fortunately, I was not and am not. And I will say this, nothing says I hate fratty quite like blowing up a condom at a booze fest, which is exactly what she's doing in those photos. You can't make this up. But I am going to have to defend her because, listen, she's lying because she has to lie. Of course, she enjoys frat culture. Of course, she had a good time while she was in college like every other person. But now, to survive in woke culture, you have to become a liar. You have to pretend that you think fat is beautiful. You have to pretend to be race obsessed. You have to pretend that you think Dylan Mulvaney is a woman and should be included in female spaces. We are being told that you have to lie repeatedly in order to survive in corporate culture. And she is herself a victim of that and a perpetuator of that. So yeah, it's absolutely shameful, and she should feel ashamed that she brought this idea to Bud Light. But I do believe that she was conditioned. I mean, she went to Harvard. What do we think goes on? What do we believe is the sociology of people that graduate Harvard? They are basically being told that this is the way that they should think. And there's one more thing I want to say here, Tucker, because it's deeply upsetting to me. There is a post-analysis that needs to happen here on why it is that Dylan Mulvaney for 365 days was able to openly mock women, to openly take the spaces of women, to get contracts from Ulta Beauty, to take, contracts from other women and all these sponsorships, and nobody cared until suddenly Dylan Mulvaney traversed into a male space and it became unacceptable. Why? Because men don't tolerate this level of lies in the way that women do, right? We respond emotionally and not rationally. We should have been the ones to put an end to Dylan Mulvaney, but we didn't because we feel bad. And shouldn't we just feel bad for men that want to be women and mock us and put on lipstick and pigtails and call themselves a girl? I think not, Tucker, but woke culture says yes.
As usual, you've taken it to a much deeper, more profound level than I had thought through. That is so. I mean, in one sentence, it's pretty amazing that the battle of sexes has been won by men with the help of feminists, isn't it?
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, once again, men have to rescue women from this terrible ideology that is taking place right now, and I commend men for doing that.
The great Candace Owens.
Thank you
so much for that.